Hello and welcome, Woodrow Wilson friends, family, and students. This is Miss Fields here, and I'm joining you tonight for our 20th episode of Math Toolbox. Tonight we're going to be focusing on how to accurately convert numbers from data tables into ordered pairs. This is the first and most simple skill that we'll be learning in our new unit on graphing, and it is really the most important step in graphing because if you don't know what your ordered pairs are, whatever you put on the graph is not going to be accurate. So it's a really important skill. It's foundational. However, I would say that it's a fairly simple skill to learn. So our fifth graders might encounter two types of tables. This is one type of table, and this table is more vertical. It's composed of two columns, and each of the two rows, they match up together, and you can create your ordered pair for them. On the left side, we have our x coordinates, and on the right side, we have our y coordinates. These two numbers, these two digits, go hand in hand. And one thing that I like to tell my fifth graders to help them remember which number is put first in our ordered pair is that the x, which is always on the left side in this instance of a data table, the left side is it's in a traditional relationship, it's the lady in our relationship, and she always goes first. The Y is the man in the relationship, and he always puts his lady first, so he goes second. Like I said before, in this type of data table, the rows go together collectively to make an ordered pair. And when you put those two numbers together, there's several components that you need to make sure that you have. In every ordered pair, you need to make sure that you have the parentheses around the two numbers. You need to make sure that your digit that you're putting first in the ordered pair is the x coordinate, because remember, the lady always goes first. And you also need to make sure that the second number is the y coordinate, because he's the man and he always puts his lady first. Note as well in the middle of this ordered pair that we always have a comma. This separates the two numbers. However, the thing that I want to point out that is most important are these parentheses to group them together. Like I said before, I use the couple analogy because these two numbers are paired together. They're ordered pairs. And the order does matter. X is always first, Y is always second. In looking at the rest of the numbers in this data table, like I said before, the digits on the left and the right go together. So this 3 and this 12 go together. When we put them together in an ordered pair, we make sure that we add in the parentheses, the comma, and the other closing parenthesis. Now, the reason why I put these two numbers, which look so similar together, side by side in this data table, is because, like I said, the order does matter. Now, this 12 right here is the x coordinate. This 3 right here is the x coordinate. Flipping and flopping these two numbers, you will not get the same result once you begin the graphing process, so that it's really important that you take note of which digit is coming first in an ordered pair, because in subsequent instructional videos, you're going to see that when you plot 12, 3 on a coordinate plane and you plot 3, 12 on a coordinate plane, they're in very, very, very different locations. So always make sure that you pay attention to the order whenever you are creating an ordered pair. Looking down at these two digits, we've got 5 and 6. Like I said before, x always comes first, y always comes second, and you group those two together with the parentheses. The next one, we've got 4 and 8. X always comes first, y always comes second. Our ordered pair is 4 and 8. And last but not least, we've got 0 and 8. We know 0 comes first because it's in the x column, and 8 comes second because it's in the y column. Our ordered pair is 0, 8. Now really quickly, I want to note that even though these two columns are labeled x and y, in future data tables, these columns may not be labeled. So it's up to our fifth graders to remember that on the left side is always our x coordinates, and on the right side is always our y coordinates. Now this is the first type of data table. Data tables are not always going to be vertical. Sometimes they will be horizontal. Like I said before, our data tables, in this instance, the rows may not be labeled X and Y. it's important for our fifth graders to remember that the top row in this instance is always going to be the x, and the bottom row in this instance is always going to be the y. So with our data tables that are horizontal, the top is the x, the bottom is the y. Very similar to the other data table, the numbers that are one on top of the other, these are our ordered pairs that we will be compiling together to make our pairs that will be plotted on a graph. So we look from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom to make our ordered pairs. And boiling it down to these two digits, our ordered pair would be 5, 7. As I said before with our analogy, lady always comes first, and the lady number, the x-coordinate, is always on the top. So our first number in our ordered pair is 5. Our second number is 7. It is the x-coordinate. Now I want you to try this one on your own. We know that the top number is our x-coordinate, the bottom number is our y-coordinate. I want you to try this on your own. What do you think it's going to look like below? Now some fifth graders might write 10, 5, as I said before. It's extremely important to note that we have these parentheses. I said this before and I'm going to say it again. The parentheses indicate that this is an ordered pair, not just a list of numbers. Again, with our 2 and our 3, we read these numbers from top to bottom. We get the ordered pair 2, 3. The 2 is our x-coordinate, the 3 is our y-coordinate. Looking at the 8 and the 6, we go from top to bottom. 8, 6 is our ordered pair. 8 is our x-coordinate. 6 is our y-coordinate. Last but not least, we've got 1, 2. 1 is our x-coordinate. 2 is our y-coordinate. Also note, and I'm going to say this for the last time, all of these are enclosed in parentheses. The parentheses and the comma indicate that these are ordered pairs that may be plotted on a graph. In summary, our fifth grade mathematicians in our graphing unit may encounter two types of data tables. One type of data table is vertical, the other one is horizontal. We read the numbers in the data table from left to right in the vertical data table and from top to bottom in the horizontal data table. We know that the X always comes first in our ordered pair, it's the lady. The Y always comes second, it's the man in the relationship who always puts his lady first. We also want to remember that we always have parentheses and we always have a comma in between the two numbers. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for our first instructional video on our graphing unit on converting numbers from data tables into ordered pairs. I look forward to seeing you all on Monday. Have a wonderful night, and I can't wait to see you in the morning.